Hello and welcome to the Helios blog. My name is Helios. Today, we're going to talk about what women want, the secrets of attraction. I'm sure many of you that visit this blog have this question in mind. You wonder what the hell it is that women want and why the hell they're so confusing. I suffered the same way as you did. It took me years of practice to figure it out. You're lucky that you have the internet, where people like me are here to help you out. Women aren't actually that complicated, but when you analyze a woman's mind logically, they seem totally alien. One thing is certain, women are not men and they want different things. Let's dive in, shall we? Enjoying my content? Check out my blog at heliosblog.com. On YouTube, you can support me by liking and subscribing. I'm also on Spotify if you'd prefer a podcast. If you're interested in my books, The Strategist Guide to Seduction and Quotes to Live By, they're available on Amazon. In addition, you can follow me on Patreon at the Helios blog for exclusive content. On with the show. So what the hell do women want? Women want many things, some of which are totally unimportant to men and some of which will make sense. And here's a list of what women want in general. Attention, validation, a high place in the female hierarchy, herd approval, resources, sex, emotional highs and lows. As you can see reading this list, unless you're a narcissistic man, some of these don't matter at all to you. We can probably understand the resources one for sure and the sex one. I get the herd approval one and the hierarchy one. But what the hell is it with emotional highs and lows being a requirement? Personally, I hate my emotions fluctuating like that. I prefer my life to be a calm pond. I don't like waves. But women do. Attention and validation being important? For me, these are things I don't really care about. If a girl never texts me but we sleep together often, I won't be upset. I'm getting sex but barely any attention or validation. I also don't really give a damn about compliments others give me, though I guess they're nice when they do happen. I don't go into a tizzy if I'm not being validated. I understand inherently that men are replaceable. Weird stuff. Anyway, here's a list of what women want from men, those that they sleep with. They want an attractive body, a dominant sexual style, good frame, and confidence. These are pretty understandable. They're the qualities of an alpha male. If you've been reading my blog or listening, they're nothing new. In this article, I'm going to go into more detail about each of the things that women want. Hopefully these insights help you on your seduction journey. Okay, so here's what women want in general again. So attention. This one is obvious. Women want to be noticed. They want to be admired. They want people to know that they're there. This is why many women adopt attention-seeking hobbies, such as singing, dancing, art, etc. These hobbies help them to get attention. A woman who has the attention of many men is then able to select the man that she wants. She wants the best man and she needs a big pool. The reason why social media is a multi-billion-dollar industry is because it taps into the female need for attention and validation, which we'll talk about next. Online, women can access the attention of thousands of men, something not even imaginable in the past. The competition for men nowadays is fierce. Some might say it's even harder than it has ever been. Luckily for you, most men have given up or have no idea the game is even being played, so it makes it easy to win. Online, women have the attention of thousands of men, and so they can pick the best of the best to be with. Online dating has of course exacerbated this problem. Women have access to so many men that they inevitably see the best men in their region. They reject a huge quantity of men, calling them below average, and only see those at the apex as attractive. Many men are thus left without a girl, while a small group of men have harems of women. It really is a difficult life for a beta, but that's why you need to work on being an alpha. Number 2, validation. Unlike most men, many women desire validation. Many women want to be told that they're pretty and perfect and amazing and that all their choices are correct. They want to feel like they fit in. Women get validation in a variety of ways. I'm sure you've noticed at parties the fake ways some girls talk to each other. It's merely exchanging validation. It's a pleasantry that acknowledges an inherent feminine need. An extremely common way that women receive validation is through beta, or loser NPC, men. Beta men shower women with compliments, attention and validation in the hope that these women will sleep with them. What these men don't realize is that they're tapping into a primordial feminine need, and that in so doing they're wrecking their chances at sex. A woman that gets validation and attention from a man sees him as far more valuable than a guy she's getting sex from. He's a tap of good feelings. Why introduce drama into the equation by sleeping with him? She wants the validation train to continue. You want to know the official title of a guy who's being used for validation? He's a friend zone guy. Patrice O'Neill would call him a time hoe. He's being used as a validation generator and nothing more. Don't be that guy. Of course, social media and online dating are both huge sources of validation for women. Imagine pressing a button and having 300 messages show up of how you're pretty, perfect, amazing, lovely, gorgeous, etc. That is the life of the average woman online. If she's truly beautiful, you can add the offers of trips around the world, private yachts, free money, and other things too. Many women nowadays are absolutely addicted to the attention they receive online. It's the modern epidemic nobody talks about. It simply means that many, if not all women, are incapable of being monogamous for the long term. But honestly, men are also not capable of it, so it's nothing new or weird, really. Women will always have that panic button in their pocket they can press when times get tough or get annoyed with a man. It's a luxury most men can only dream of. The luxury of abundance. Number 3. A high place on the female hierarchy. Women rank themselves on the female hierarchy based on how much control or power they have over the man they're seeing. The more control or power a woman has over the man in her relationship arrangement, the higher she's seen on the female hierarchy. So there are rungs on the female hierarchy, and here they are from lowest to highest. So the lowest is the lowest status, and highest is the highest status. So lowest status, little kid, single mom, single, seeing someone, divorced, dating someone, in a serious relationship, in a marriage. Many women laud their place on the female hierarchy over other women, provoking feelings of jealousy. These feelings in turn cause other women to want to climb higher on the female hierarchy. What it means for you is that as your girl's friends start to get into more serious relationships and start to get married, your girl is going to feel the need to pressure you to do the same. She otherwise has a lower status than her friends and gets bullied as a result. This is why many women tend to pressure the guys they're with into more and more serious relationships. They want to lower their status and rank over other women, or at least want to remain at parity with them. Obviously, once they've attained the higher rank, many women compare themselves based on possessions and other stupid things, and this is where the expression keeping up with the Joneses comes from. So here are some examples of what women compare once they're at the highest ranking. What their husband does for a living, the type of car they drive, the size of their house, how their lawn is mowed, how many extracurricular activities their kids do, what their kids work as or where they went to university, how their house is decorated, what trips they go on, etc. Obviously, these are things that many men don't care about. They tend to care about things like sex and their hobbies. They simply do the above to please their wives, who are in turn doing it to lower their status over other women. In this way, the man basically becomes a purse or another possession, a tool to be used to compare to other people in her social group. Don't let this fate befall you. As the doctor says, the best cure is prevention. Number 4, herd approval. Whereas men tend to be more individualistic, women tend to be more collectivistic. This means that women in general like to do what is in fashion. Many women change their behavior and beliefs as the times change to fit in with team girl, as it were. It was very dangerous for women to be expelled from a social group historically, and thus many women have an inbuilt biological drive to fit in. No matter how crazy or stupid current cultural trends are, many women will follow them out of fear of being expelled from the group. And this is why many women follow the idiotic cultural trends of today without much thought as to their stupidity. They are simply following the cultural script. So here are some examples of stupid cultural scripts many women follow. Changing their hair or clothes to match what is in fashion currently, even if it's ugly. Changing their political ideology to follow what's in fashion. Pushing for traditional monogamous relationships when these don't make them happy. Doing what other girls are doing on social media, even if it's stupid. Acting as the culture tells them to act, even if it hurts their relationships with men and their children. Extreme feminism, left-wing views. Mark my words, when the world changes and becomes more extreme and right-wing, many women will shift ideology and follow following their innate biological script to fit in, even when the culture is asking us to do really stupid and bizarre things. It's going to happen, mark my words. Number 5, resources. When I say this, I don't mean that all women are gold diggers. The truth is, though, that many women have resource seeking as one of their primary strategies. They either work to get a good job so that they don't have to rely on a man to raise children, or they'll actively choose a man to have kids with who has money. Women will often test for resources at the beginning of your interactions with them. They'll ask you what you work as. This is a fairly innocuous question, which in my experience is all right to answer. Never answer a girl's question about your salary, however. She's testing you to see if you're a beta. If she tries to make the conversation about how much money you make, you're done. She sees you as a wallet and not as a person. Avoid women like this. Obviously, the reason women see resources as important is because they need them in order to raise children. This is not something bad. It's simply bad when she sees you as only a wallet with nothing to provide her but money. This is why divorce is so evil. The woman provides nothing and often takes the children too, and keeps getting money off of you in the form of alimony. It's almost like you have to pay her for the privilege of having married her. It's utterly ridiculous, though child support isn't, in my opinion. Until divorce laws change, and they won't, not in our lifetimes anyway, it's an utterly ludicrous idea to get married. Those that do have no sense of self-preservation, and they certainly lack wisdom. Number 6, sex. Women want sex. I would argue that women are more sexual than men. Since women are responsible for the creation of new humans, one could argue that their whole lives are about sex. Women do want sex for sure. They simply don't want sex with the same man for very long. Women tend to be quite devoted for about 1 to 3 years to the same partner. After that, their eyes start to wander, and this is called serial monogamy. Women want to be with one partner and one partner only until they don't. They then switch to a new partner and repeat the pattern. Don't get me wrong, men are worse in this regard. Often it doesn't take 2 weeks before a man wants sexual variety, even if he loves and enjoys the woman he's with. Men are polygamous. They want to have sex with multiple women at the same time. Women are serially monogamous. They want one man and one man only for a relatively short burst and then to move on to the next. Ariana Grande's famous song sums it up amazingly. Thank you, next. I'm sure you've experienced the dick-breaking sex that the first few years of monogamy offer, followed by a gradual reduction of the sex to nothing. Men can avoid that by being polygamous. Once the sex dries up, you simply replace the girl on the roster with no hard feelings. She'll often return later, wanting to have sex with you again, once her hormones have reset with regards to you. Number 7, emotional highs and lows. Men are linear, women are cyclical. Women experience shifting feelings regularly and enjoy it. A girl doesn't want to live life in a still pond. She wants a raging ocean for her emotions. Men who are polygamous players do an amazing job of stirring the waters. This is because non-monogamy creates constant angst in the girl as she thinks about other women the man is with. When they're together, however, the feelings are amazing. She gets both positive and negative feelings in a cyclical pattern, a total win-win. Women are also cyclical when it comes to their interactions with men. Women spend some months to years with an alpha, finally become frustrated with his non-compliance to a will, leave him for a beta, stay with the beta until they get bored of his compliance to her will, then return to the alpha. On and on it goes in a cyclical pattern of emotions. You as a man avoid the cyclical nature of a woman's emotions by being non-monogamous. When you refuse to commit to one girl, you don't rely on her emotional whims for sex. When you don't rely on her emotional whims for sex, you free yourself from the stormy waters of her ocean and can sail on a gentle pond. You can relax, knowing that your sexual needs are going to be provided for, regardless of any individual girl's feelings. Conclusion. As you can see, women want many things, some of which we can relate to as men, and some of which we can't really. Here's a list to remind you of what women want. Attention, validation, a high place on the female hierarchy, heard approval, resources, sex, and emotional highs and lows. We can overcome the difficulty of women's cyclical natures by being non-monogamous. Ultimately, it's up to us to understand, adapt, and overcome. Don't get sucked into the life strategy of a woman just because you enjoy the sex. Monogamy will destroy both of you in the long term. Don't give in.